Good morning, everyone. Paul Rupel here with Fox 29 News Now. Hope your Thursday's off to a fantastic start. You're looking live at the Benjamin Franklin Parkway. Fountains shooting water high into the air there. It's much cooler today. You won't need a fountain to cool off. About 20 to 30 degrees cooler than our high yesterday we were expecting for today. At the current moment, it is 62. The dew point is 59, so it is a bit humid out there. Winds out of the east at 9 miles per hour. We'll get you a full look at weather soon. I can tell you we are expecting to hear from President Trump soon. He's expected to, we're supposed to have some tape playback of his comments outside the White House. He's departing on a trip today. And you're looking live at the shot from Joint Base Andrews, where Air Force One is waiting to carry him away. As soon as we have those remarks, the tape playback, we'll get you there. In the meantime, let's catch you up on the latest related to the impeachment probe that has been launched by Democrats in the U.S. House of Representatives. Investigators on Capitol Hill will hear from a former special envoy to Ukraine today as Democrats press forward on the impeachment of President Trump. The president, meantime, is firing back, and the legal battle is quickly escalating. Here is Fox's Doug Luzader with more.
Well, let's go to D.C. Investigators on Capitol Hill will hear from a former special envoy to Ukraine today as Democrats press forward on the impeachment of President Trump.
The president, meantime, is firing back, and the legal battle, well, it's quickly escalating.
Yeah, he did some interviews yesterday. Doug?
Good morning. Yes, interesting sound from the president yesterday. Not the first time we've said that. The president, though, is fighting back against Democrats who are moving forward with these interviews here on Capitol Hill to press their impeachment case.
Ask this gentleman a question.
President Trump lashing out at Democrats and reporters.
I've answered everything. It's a whole hoax. And you know who's playing into the hoax? People like you and the fake news media.
That followed House Speaker Nancy Pelosi trying to convey a calm, methodical approach.
We will have investigations and questioning that are worthy of the Constitution of the United States.
But already some complications. A revelation in the New York Times that the Democrats' point person on impeachment, Congressman Adam Schiff, had prior knowledge of the whistleblower complaint at the heart of all of this, something he did not disclose.
It shows that Schiff is a fraud.
But the president is besieged by one development after another. The White House is expected to be under subpoena for documents pertaining to Ukraine and a phone call where President Trump asked the president of Ukraine to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son.
Any other updates?
No comment.
No comment? Okay.
And just yesterday, the State Department's Inspector General delivered to Congress a mysterious packet behind closed doors said to contain conspiracy theories about Ukraine's involvement in the 2016 election. All of this at the same time that Democrats are trying to narrow down their impeachment case to convince the public that the president should be removed from office. And all of these side issues could be a growing concern.
The Democrats are worried that this will sort of spiral on, and they want to do something crisp and quick. That would certainly be in their political interest, I think.
And Democrats say that this continuous battle over document production may provide them, in their minds, another justification to impeach the president. Mike and Alex.
It's going to go on and on. Doug, we'll see you again tomorrow, 7:14.
Again, we are awaiting the remarks from the president made on the White House lawn as he gets set to travel today. This morning on Twitter, he's been active retweeting different news sources and folks he seems to feel are supportive of his argument, saying that the Republican Party has never had such support. Assailing Adam Schiff, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. Schiff is a lying disaster for our country. He should resign, the president said. And another, Schiff is a lowlife who should resign at least. He did also yesterday during his news conference pool availability with the leader of Finland make some remarks about reporting about a book that says that he supported having a moat with snakes and gators at the border crossings, to a report filed by, or a tweet this morning about that reporting. The president said, "Fake news, just like the snakes and gators in the moat. The media is deranged. They have lost their mind." That was specifically about a tweet that the president asked about shooting migrants crossing border in the legs. This is according to a book. The New York Times then wrote about that book. There's been subsequent reporting around the elements of that book, and that's what the president is responding to at the moment on social media and this morning. Again, he's getting set to travel. Let me get you the details on that. Again, he's departing via the South Lawn en route to Joint Base Andrews. And he's headed to Ocala, Florida. He'll be delivering remarks and signing an executive order and participating in a photo opportunity there. And then headed back to the White House later today. So we'll get you the latest, and when we see the sound from the president, we'll bring that to you. In the meantime, let's move on to some other stories today. Let's start with some business news here. Drive-through lines, who wants to wait in them? But some restaurants are better than others. Which one's the best and which one's the worst? Tracy Carrasco joined us from Fox Business Network this morning.
Hey, it's 7:24. Fast food is supposed to be fast, right? Well, let's find out who is fastest when it comes to drive-thrus. Tracy?
Yes, when it comes to getting through the drive-thru, the quickest, Dunkin'. That's according to QSR, which is a restaurant industry magazine. They did a survey there. They found that Dunkin', you'll be able to get through the drive-thru on average in about 3 minutes, followed by Wendy's and Burger King. So those are going to be the quickest drive-thru options. However, maybe you've got a little more time, or the slowest ones are going to be Chick-fil-A. You might find yourself waiting on average about 5 minutes at Chick-fil-A, followed by McDonald's and Hardee's.
Oh.
So,
well, there's also always a
surprising.
line usually at Chick-fil-A. And
Yes.
we love Dunkin' because they are sponsors. But they, I mean, they're mostly coffee and other things. So wouldn't they be faster just because they don't have a full-blown menu?
I was going to say, I mean, when they factor that in, I'll take
Maybe.
a donut and a coffee. I'm out.
well, no, they have more. They have breakfast sandwiches. They have a
that's
number
true.
of different offerings. So
True, but do people get breakfast sandwiches in the afternoon? Like, the other ones are like restaurants.
yeah. Well, some of the coffee drinks do take a lot
That's
longer
true.
than they are pretty intensive when you're ordering maybe a flavored latte, iced or something like that. But it's interesting. I'm not sure how they factored in each different menu because they are so very different. But perhaps that's one reason why places are a little longer. The popularity of Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is really popular right now, so maybe that's adding to it. You also have the mobile orders. More people are doing those mobile orders. So even though they're doing everything, paying ahead of time, they still have to wait in line to get their items often.
I think we've broken this down.
Yes,
from
we
every
have. It's gotten a little more. The point is, go to Dunkin' if you want to go fast.
Here's the thing. What was I going to say? Oh, Tracy, I've been living in New York City and Philadelphia so long. Yeah, I was blown away. I was in Wichita, Kansas. Starbucks has drive-thru.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No.
I guess you wouldn't know that.
There are lots of drive-through Starbucks locations in California as well.
If you go out to the suburbs, you'll see that.
Yes.
I need to get out there
Yeah,
more.
you need to go
I really do, actually. Okay, Tracy, thank you. I'll see you
Tracy.
tomorrow. I was so surprised. I don't have to get out of my car. This is great.
They have, when I went to South Carolina, I noticed it too.
But I'll tell you this, it's faster to park.
So if you're in a hurry and you need to get a quick bite, there are some of the top options for drive-through eating for you. All right, let's get you a full look at your weather. You're looking live outside our studios at 4th and Market Streets in Old City, Philadelphia. Currently, right now, it's a lot cooler than it has been. Let's get a look at those temperatures real quick on a map our meteorologists have up right now. This is 62 right now in the city. And you see some of that cooler air coming from the north and east of us and off the ocean. Let's get you a look at ultimate Doppler radar. Last 3 hours here, we have had some light rain moving through. A little patch of heavier rain might be, looks like it's breaking up a little bit, but heading toward our northern Delaware and South Jersey areas. Here's a look at the temperature map again for our DMA here. 62 in the city, 60s across from Philly on south for the most part, 50s to the north, and look at that, only 45 in Mount Pocono right now. Your northeast U.S. temperatures and one Canadian location. 71 in Baltimore, 62 in Philly, so quite the difference there, 9 degrees just between those two cities. Then we've got 40s to the north in Burlington, Vermont, Bangor, Maine, 50 in Rochester, New York, 48 in Toronto. Your U.S. temperatures, see, we are holding on to the warmth in the southeast, though. 84 in Raleigh, 80s all along the Gulf Coast, 85 in Memphis. So that orange and yellow indicating where the heat remains. And then as you move west, start to cool off into New Mexico and Arizona. On the west coast, just 55 in San Francisco, 52 in Portland. And Billings, Montana, the cool spot at just 37 degrees. Oh, excuse me, Rapid City at 34. Just 2 ticks above freezing. Got a pretty big snowstorm out there the other day. Temperature change, look at that. 24-hour temperature change from the same time yesterday. We're down 15 degrees in Philadelphia, but it feels almost 29 degrees cooler than it did yesterday at this time in Allentown right now. Only a 9-degree difference for Cape May, but Mount Pocono also 27 degrees down. Reading 25 degrees cooler. Quite the difference. I think I heard that yesterday was the first time we've had 90-degree heat in Philadelphia since 1941, or the warmest day in Philadelphia in October since 1941. Your wind speeds right now, 9 miles per hour in the city, double digits some places. The high spot being Dover at 16 miles per hour. Wind gusts, 25 miles an hour right now in Atlantic City, the wind blowing in off the ocean. 16 miles per hour in Toms River and 20 up in Mount Pocono. Visibility, not great. A lot of cloud cover and some fog out there. Only a mile of visibility in Mount Pocono, 3 miles in Trenton, 2 in Reading, 2 in Atlantic City, 4 in Wildwood. We do have some spots where it's a little more clear. Millville, New Jersey, 10 miles, Dover, 10 miles. Let's get a look at, so you see that cloud cover there on satellite. And here comes your 7-day forecast from the Fox 29 Weather Authority. Rainy and cooler, 65 today. Sunny and breezy Friday, 68. Saturday, 66. So we're staying in the 60s for at least the next 3 days. Clouds and milder Sunday for the Eagles home games. Monday, showers around, 74 for a high. Then we cooled back down into the 60s for the mid-work week. Partly sunny, 68 on Tuesday. Sunny and cool, 68 on Wednesday. Remember to download the Fox 29 Weather Authority app. Get conditions wherever you are. Track the rain coming in. Get hourly conditions. And when there's severe weather, get location-based alerts wherever you are. All right, right, there was a big court decision yesterday. A federal judge ruled that the proposed safe injection sites here in Philadelphia does not violate federal law. So what does that mean for plans to build one in the city? Our Steve Keeley had that report this morning.
Just round one in a heavyweight 12-round legal fight, and far from a knockout or even a knockdown. And a coincidence that gives you a sense of time about how long this has been going on. This ruling comes exactly 1 year to the day that this issue, this idea, and this legal fight over having a safe injection site even started. It was October 3rd last year when our Jeff Cole questioned Mayor Kenney about his support for this.
Supportive of the idea of a safe injection site?
I'm supportive of any method that we can utilize to get people safe and to have them not die.
And you think that's one?
It could be one, yes.
The man who sued to stop Safe House, U.S. Attorney William McSwain, said afterward, no surprise, that the legal fight really has just begun.
And until a legislature, until Congress says that an injection site is legal, it's not. So we think that by pursuing this case, we're showing our respect for democracy. We're not necessarily taking a view on the effectiveness or not of the sites. I personally don't think they're a good idea, but again, that's not the main argument. The main argument has to do with our core mission, which is enforcing the law.
The judge in his ruling wrote that the ultimate goal of Safe House is to reduce drug use, not facilitate it. After his ruling, Safe House Vice President Rhonda Goldfein admitted, despite this legal victory early on, quote, it's not over by any stretch. At the federal courthouse, Steve Keeley, Fox 29 News.
Thank you to our Steve Keeley for that report. In other local news, a warning for parents after a series of attempted lurings in Delaware County. Sabina Kuriakos has this report for us from Delco.
And kids in Delaware County, they're being approached by strange men as they're walking home from school, playing in a park, and now playing in their own backyard. So police say that 2 weeks ago, two boys were playing soccer in their backyard in Middletown Township, just about a half-mile away from State Police Barracks here in Media. The boys say a man approached them, tried to talk to them through a tall fence. He asked them to leave with him, and when they refused, he started to get more demanding and more insistent. That's when the boys got very scared. They ran home into the house. They told their parents what happened, and the parents just reported that incident to state police after seeing this number of other cases right now going on throughout Delaware County. We've had 5 in the last 5 weeks.
As a father with 2 young children, it is concerning, and this new news that I'm just finding out that happened in this community is very scary.
It's jarring, and I feel like there's a duty to get the word out and to have awareness like this, and to hear about it weeks later is definitely startling.
And Haverford police have gotten reports of 2 of the 5 lurings. Right now they're looking to talk to this man in connection with the case of a 14-year-old who says he was told to get into a car as he walked home from school. Luckily, he was so close to home that his dad spotted what was going on, started walking over, and then police say that's when the driver took off. So we have reports, other creepy encounters involving an 8-year-old in Haverford, 3 grade schoolers as young as 7 in Upper Darby, and a young girl in Wayne. Combine that with these 2 boys now playing soccer in their backyard and that 14-year-old walking home from school. All of the kids are okay. Police right now have not connected any of these 5 separate incidents, but they are urging parents to use caution and have that talk with your child about stranger danger. We are in Media. Sabina Kuriakos, Fox 29 News. Back to you.
Thank you to Sabina for that report. And I don't have much video for you at the moment, but our Steve Keeley is reporting about 37 minutes ago that Atlantic City Mayor Frank Gilliam, his wife and lawyer, have just arrived on the 5th floor of the U.S. Federal Courthouse in Camden. Sources tell Fox 29 he's to plead to federal charges related to a December 3rd FBI raid and search of his home. That's set for 10 a.m., so it's likely underway. We will get you to that as soon as possible, any more information that we get on that. But again, Fox 29 Steve Keeley reporting that Atlantic City Mayor Frank Gilliam will plead guilty to federal charges related to a December 3rd FBI raid and search of his home. I mentioned we've been waiting for President Trump to speak. We do believe we'll have tape playback very shortly of his remarks as he departed from the White House South Lawn en route to Florida today for a speaking engagement. Looks like we have a shot up. We're just waiting for the tape to start rolling. So right now you're looking at Air Force One on the at Joint Base Andrews, getting ready to depart. Preparations underway for that flight. As soon as that tape starts rolling, we'll get you over there for that.
Doing a lot of work on healthcare. We're very successful at it. And so we're going to be speaking to the great people of Florida. And I think they're very happy with the job we're doing. Yeah.
What exactly specifically is inaccurate in the whistleblower's complaint? What exactly is inaccurate in the whistleblower's complaint?
Well, if you look at the whistleblower's complaint, it's totally inaccurate because the conversation that I had was absolutely perfect, and most people that have read it say the same thing. The whistleblower never saw the conversation. He got his information, I guess, second or third hand. He wrote something that was total fiction, and now when people see that, they're not happy.
You want to restrict investment flows into China and have Chinese stocks be listed?
Well, we're looking at a lot of different things. China's coming in next week. We're going to have a meeting with them. We'll see. But we're doing very well. Some of the numbers, I think, are being affected by all of the nonsense, all of the politics going on in this country by the Democrats. I call them the do-nothings. They do nothing for this country. They don't care about this country. But the numbers really are looking very good going into the future. So we'll see. I have a lot of options on China. But if they don't do what we want, we have tremendous power.
What exactly did you hope Zelensky would do about the Bidens after your phone call?
Well, I would think that if they were honest about it, they'd start a major investigation into the Bidens. It's a very simple answer. They should investigate the Bidens, because how does a company that's newly formed, and all these companies, if you look at, and by the way, likewise, China should start an investigation into the Bidens. Because what happened in China is just about as bad as what happened with Ukraine. So I would say that President Zelensky, if it were me, I would recommend that they start an investigation into the Bidens. Because nobody has any doubt that they weren't crooked. That was a crooked deal, 100%. He had no knowledge of energy, didn't know the first thing about it. All of a sudden, he's getting $50,000 a month, plus a lot of other things. Nobody has any doubt. And they got rid of a prosecutor who was a very tough prosecutor. They got rid of him. Now they're trying to make it the opposite way, but they got rid. So if I were the president, I would certainly recommend that.
Do you agree with Peter Navarro that Schiff is a sociopath?
I haven't, but certainly something we could start thinking about, because I'm sure that President Xi does not like being under that kind of scrutiny, where billions of dollars is taken out of his country by a guy that just got kicked out of the Navy. He got kicked out of the Navy. All of a sudden, he's getting billions of dollars. You know what they call that? They call that a payoff. Well, I leave that to the lawyers. I can say, though, that Schiff has now been proven to be a liar. We've known it for 3 years because they've been trying to impeach for 3 years. He's a liar. He's a stone-cold liar. So I leave that to the lawyers. That's up to them to decide. But the whole investigation is crumbling. Yeah.
Can you still work in Congress to get other work done?
I can. Yeah, I can. I can. Well, we have a real problem. We've been hitting the Taliban very, very hard. And as far as I'm concerned, they still haven't recovered from killing 12 people. One of them happened to be a great American soldier from Puerto Rico. And they still have not recovered, and they probably never will. No, but I read Mitch McConnell's statement yesterday, and he read my phone call. And as you know, he put out a statement that said that was the most innocent phone call he's read. And I spoke to him about it, too. He read my phone call with the president of Ukraine, Mitch McConnell. He said that was the most innocent phone call that I've read. I mean, give me a break. Anybody that reads it says the same thing. And the only people that don't understand it is when they look at these false, fabricated, fraudulent statements made by 60 ships.
Do you really think they'll Vice President Biden said that he's not going anywhere, said that they're not going to Detroit?
Well, I think Biden is going down, and I think his whole situation, because now you may very well find that there are many other countries that they scam, just like they scammed China and Ukraine. And basically, who are they really scamming? The USA, and it's not And that's probably why China, for so many years, has had a sweetheart deal where China rips off the USA because they deal like people with Biden, where they give the son $1.5 billion, and that's probably why China has such a sweetheart deal. But for so many years, they've been ripping off our country.
Do you support SB 206, the college athletes getting paid, or do you side with the NCAA and the schools and do you think this should be a federal law?
We're looking at it. We're looking at it very closely. It's understood.
Why do you recall the Ukraine ambassador? North Korea comes to
We'll see. They want to talk, and we'll be talking to them soon. We'll see.
Why did you recall the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine? Was she a problem? Why did you recall her?
I heard very bad things about her. And I don't know if I recalled her or somebody recalled her, but I heard very, very bad things about her for a long period of time. Not good.
You really think there will be a civil war? You're confident in Congress, you still have the votes in the Senate. Would you resign and start at the beginning?
bit difficult to hear the president this morning, but some of the remarks that I heard and that the pool reporter for the White House pool had, that the president said Ukraine should investigate the Bidens, and China has already begun to do so. Looks like it's looping there. Let's get you over to a live shot of President's team boarding Air Force One. Asked if he had requested President Xi of China to help investigate the Bidens, the president responded, "I haven't, but clearly it's something we should start thinking about." The president spoke for about 7 minutes there outside the White House. Heard him say that he heard very bad things about the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine, and that's why he let her go. That was the explanation. I have some video of the president moments later boarding Air Force One. About China starting an investigation related to reporting that former Vice President Joe Biden's son, Hunter, has been signing with Ukraine. The president says he hasn't asked President China to investigate. Clearly pondering that. So there's your update on the happenings in Washington, D.C., the impeachment inquiry and the president's response to it. Of course, stay with Fox29.com and all of our social platforms to get the latest developments as they occur during the course of the day. Again, today we are expecting Congress will be hearing from the former envoy to the Ukraine. This will be the president's first trip away from Washington since House Democrats ramped up their impeachment inquiry. He's heading into the warm embrace of a Republican stronghold, is how the lead on the Associated Press article puts it. He's visiting the Villages, a sprawling retirement hub about an hour north of Orlando that is a must-stop for GOP candidates. The president plans to announce an executive order to protect Medicare and address an invitation-only group during his visit today. The president made some entertainment news today. Twitter removed the tweet from the president that featured an edited music video clip from the band Nickelback. It took aim at former Vice President Joe Biden. That post was removed because of a copyright complaint. It featured a doctored version of the band's 2015 music video Photograph. Showed the singer, Chad Kroeger, holding a photo of Biden, his son, a Ukrainian gas executive, and another man. All right, let's get you to some more local news while we're following all these developments. Looks like that shot may have frozen, actually. Apologies for that. Another look at the Benjamin Franklin Parkway here. In local news, developing overnight, police in West Philadelphia are investigating a shooting. This happened around midnight on the 800 block of North 41st Street. The victim, a 28-year-old man, was shot 7 times. Investigators say he was shot on the steps of a family member's home. He was rushed to Presbyterian Hospital by police, where he's listed in extremely critical condition. Two schools will be closed for the rest of the week after asbestos was found inside the building they share. Benjamin Franklin High and the Science Leadership Academy on North Broad Street near Spring Garden are being cleaned. The school district says they found damaged insulation material in a boiler room and a common area, and tests confirmed it contained asbestos. They're working to find another site for the children to attend. A mother and father are demanding answers after their son was knocked unconscious during a fight that was captured on video. Jaslyn and Ryan Rialpe tell us the fight happened Tuesday night while their 16-year-old son, who's a student at Father Judge High School, was hanging out with friends at Chalfont Playground in Northeast Philadelphia. They say their son was beaten unconscious by a group of students from neighboring Catholic high school Archbishop Ryan. Officials from both schools say the fight happened 3 days after a rival football game where students had heated exchanges. The parents say the fight video is gut-wrenching.
Once we saw that video, that individual on top of my son hitting him while he was unconscious, we knew we couldn't stay shut. He has no memory of that. He doesn't even have a memory of going to school that day.
Their son suffered a serious concussion. In a joint letter, administrators from both schools say they are cooperating fully with police and conducting an internal investigation of their own. There you see some more of the fight video there. A disturbing story out of Chester County, Pennsylvania. Police arrested 49-year-old William Jones, who is accused of burning the body of his stillborn baby and then burying the remains. He was also arrested for allegedly dealing meth out of his mobile home in Honeybrook Township. The mother, 29-year-old Anita DePedro, told investigators she had the stillborn baby back in 2017 in the couple's bathroom. She's wanted on drug charges and remains on the run this morning. The child's remains were never recovered. Again, the mother's still at large in this case. A 64-year-old man is dead after police say he was run over by a vehicle driven by his own son. Investigators say the son was backing up when he hit his father. This happened yesterday afternoon at a junkyard on the 3600 block of North 2nd Street. It's unclear if the son will face any charges. Happening now, Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf vowing to speed up the process of pardoning low-level marijuana convictions. Each case takes about 2.5 years. Governor Wolf and the Board of Pardons hope to get it down to 1 year. Wolf and the board are encouraging anyone with a marijuana-related nonviolent possession or paraphernalia charge to apply for a pardon. Take a live shot outside our studios again for this story. Apparently, Philadelphia has some of the highest ATM fees in the country. According to a survey done by Bankrate.com, the national average is $4.70. The average in the city of brotherly love, $5.11. That makes us the 5th highest in the United States. So who's number one? Houston with $5.58. Of course, there's one error in the story. They're calling it an ATM, but we all know it's called a Mac. If you've grown up in the city, that's what you've most commonly heard. With this weather whiplash, many people report getting colds or certain flu-like symptoms as the seasons change. And a lot of those people believe their illnesses have something to do with the weather, with those weather changes. Dr. Mike says there's no evidence to support that a change in seasons actually causes illness. Temperature swings can make allergies worse, which can lead to feeling sick, but not necessarily being sick. He suggests taking your regular medications and rinsing out your sinuses. So some helpful advice there from Dr. Mike. I don't know if we'll be able to see this, but I just saw Air Force One take off. Looks like it's already out of the camera shot. Here was some video earlier of Marine One taking off with the Washington Monument in the background. Let's get another check of our weather here for you. Again, another look at ultimate Doppler radar. Do have some light rain moving across the area. Breaking up a bit as it comes into the areas, but some more moving into northern Delaware and then South Jersey. Current temperature is still 62 in the city, 60s from about the level of Philadelphia on down, 50s to the north, or as cool as 45 in Mount Pocono. 40s to farther to the north and east of our area. A lot of that warmth still in the southwestern portion of the country. Southeastern portion of the country. A lot of warmth around the Gulf Coast, 80s, but even just this Raleigh, North Carolina, 84 right now. Again, this is a big temperature departure from the same hour just 24 hours ago, 15 degrees different in Philly, but as much as 29 degrees if you're in Allentown, Pennsylvania. We've got winds in the single digits to the mid double digits, and some gusts to 22 in Wildwood right now, 16 in Toms River, and 20 in Mount Pocono. Too early to talk about wind chill. Visibility right now is single digits in some places. Quite a difference between Atlantic City and Wildwood. 2 miles in Atlantic City, 10 in Wildwood. Clearing out a little bit for most of the southern portions of our viewing area, but to the north it is still quite foggy and not a whole lot of distance you can see right now. Visibility, or there's your satellite shot. Here comes your weather forecast from the Fox 29 Weather Authority. Calling today a 6 on our forecast by the numbers. Rainy, cooler, 65. Friday, sunny and breezy, 68. Saturday, chilly start, 66 for a high. Notice we've got overnight lows as low as the 40s there. Sunday, sunny, clouds and milder, 76 for a high. Should be a nice day for the Eagles home game. I believe that's a night game, right? Sunday, 8:20. Yep, they're playing the Jets, 1 o'clock this week. I was looking a couple weeks ahead at the schedule and seeing that I think it's 3 weeks out. They get Dallas on a Sunday night, 10:20, yep, in Dallas. First they play the Jets this Sunday at 1 o'clock. Then they have the Vikings at 1 o'clock next Sunday before that big primetime divisional showdown with the Cowboys. Monday, showers still around, 74 for a high. Tuesday, 68, partly sunny, and sunny and cool, 68 on Wednesday. So back to the 60s at mid-work week next week. Looks like the walk to end Alzheimer's is this weekend as well. If you can make it out there to join us, please do. Again, make sure to download the Fox 29 Weather Authority app. Get your forecast. You can get your video forecast right there. You can watch our live stream. You can also get hourly conditions, the forecast coming up, and weather alerts based on your location anytime. Before we go, let's get you a look at conditions all around the region with our Weather Metrics cameras. Here they come. The locations aren't working on these, so I'll just tell you which spots they are. This, of course, is Allentown, Pennsylvania. Take a quick look outside our studios again here. Now we're seeing Cape May, New Jersey. The boardwalk in Ocean City, New Jersey. Camera on top of the Manco's Pizza there. With the music pier in the distance. Quiet day on the boardwalk. After that warm weekend brought lots of folks to the shore. Reading, Pennsylvania, and on to our shot from on top of the United Way here, Philadelphia, the Benjamin Franklin Parkway and the Philadelphia Museum of Art in the distance. Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. As we mentioned in the weather report, we've got some variable visibility around here, around different regions. So some places you can see quite a distance, others visibility as low as 2 miles right now. And there you go, perfectly illustrating that point. Just Wildwood, New Jersey. Can't see very far there. Looks like that shot may be stuck at the moment. And here's a shot of Wilmington, Delaware. I want to thank you for joining us today on Fox 29 News Now. We're with you weekdays a little bit after 10 a.m. after Good Day Philadelphia goes off the air. Try and get you out to the latest live events, get you some reporting from the morning, updates on stories. Again, one of the big stories we're following is a indictment. Our Steve Keeley is at the federal courthouse in Camden, where Atlantic City Mayor Frank Gilliam, his wife and lawyer, arrived for a 10 a.m. hearing. We're told, sources tell Fox 29 that the mayor was pleading guilty to charges related to a December 3rd FBI raid and search of his home. We're waiting for new information. Steve has tweeted that let's get you some of that new information. Steve is reporting that Atlantic City Council President Marty Smalls, who ran for mayor against Gilliam 2 years ago, will now become mayor with Gilliam's guilty plea. Gilliam becomes the latest in a long line of past AC mayors guilty of crimes while in office. He's pled guilty to wire fraud involving a charity he ran. FBI agents found over $41,000 in cash inside the Atlantic City mayor's home during a search warrant raid in December. Less than half the $87,250 he pled guilty to stealing from contributors to charity. The maximum sentence Gilliam could face is 20 years. He's agreed to pay restitution to contributors. This is all, again, according to our Steve Keeley, who was at federal court in Camden while this hearing was being held. Gilliam has reportedly agreed to pay restitution to contributors, as I mentioned. We'll soon learn if he isn't taken from the courtroom in handcuffs and processed and given bail. So, again, Steve Keeley reporting there from Camden. We'll have the latest on the story on the Fox 29 News at 5, 6, 10, and 11. We'll have it on fox29.com, and follow us on social media to get the latest updates. Also sign up for our push alert notifications in the news app. Get the latest breaking news delivered right to your device, and with a link that takes you straight to the article or the live stream, depending on how we're getting you the news. Again, I want to thank you for joining us today on Fox 29 News Now. I'm Paul Ruppel, I'm the Digital Media Manager here at Fox 29. Have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning for Fox 29 News Now.